are going to continue with the mutable signs and talk about the bad boy in the zodiac. There's a couple of them. This one is Virgo, the trickster, the hustler, the thief, the liar, the seducer, the con artist, and the magician. Virgo on the ascendant. I ran out completely of booze. I ran out. I'm tapped out. Got no money at the moment. All tied up. And I could not get it. So Mercury retrograde. My account locked. Boom, boom, boom. Mercury retrograde. But I'm thankful that I can do the video. I don't know how long I got before Mercury goes zoop. And I'm out of the air. Virgo and the ascendant. Oh my God. What can I tell you? Virgo is the chameleon of the zodiac. He's not a shapeshifter, or she. He's a chameleon. And if he's on the roof, you knock him out, he'll land on his all fours like a cat. 9 lives. He'll change from colors. He'll change from fat to skinny, from ugly to handsome, to a child to an old man. He can morph into all kinds of attitudes and styles. Pulling from his brother or his sister, Gemini. And let me tell you, they love to camouflage. Well, you've all seen me. You've all seen my 300 videos. I have a different outfit every time. No, this is Mercury, the chameleon. We can shapeshift and change and become different personalities according to how we see fit. Virgo and the ascendant. Virgo and the ascendant is complicated and complex. Didn't I tell you that from Aries to Virgo completes a whole gestational development that begins from early childhood that adulterates into adulthood by age 30. From Aries to Virgo, you have one cycle of individual self-development. It's the first 6 signs of the zodiac. And then the last 6 signs of the zodiac, beginning with the cardinal sign of Libra to Pisces, begins the development and care and evolution of the not self, but concerning yourself with the other. And from Libra onward, it's about dealing with somebody else or other people, or a concept of philosophy, or with your children, family, or then ultimately uniting with God, which we encounter in Pisces. So understand that Virgo is the midpoint. Aries, then Virgo is the midpoint, and then Pisces is the end of the finality. And Pisces then bites the tail of the ram, and then we have the circle of life repeating itself all over again. The cycle of creation. So Virgo on the ascendant rules cycles of nature, cycles of man, and cycles of time. Virgo on the ascendant. With Virgo on the ascendant, It really depends on the degree the Virgo rises. Remember, there are 4 types of Virgos and 16 subtypes and 30 subtypes. Don't forget that we have to throw the decans in there. When you divide that, that's 30. That's 30 subdivisions. And Virgo is already complex enough without all the other subtypes. So you will never be boring. You will never be bored with Virgo. But for that to be, you cannot be the traditional Virgo. The traditional Virgo will have you bored to death. I'm going to tell you. And I'm a Virgo. And I know Virgo. We can be a bore if we are, rigid, insecure, and self-unactualized. Those makes the worst of Virgos. And I can say it because I'm a Virgo and I've been there. But I'm 52 years old. I know who I am today. But I remember when I wasn't. And when I had to evolve from those phases. Virgos have it tough when they're younger. All the smoldering sexiness of the Virgo men that we can enjoy today as grown men comes later. That comes later. It definitely doesn't come when we're young. We're still innocent, the virgin, pure. We have to be tainted and defiled before we can become the smoldering Virgo, gigolo, hustler, sexy, whatever you want to call it, men that we ultimately become in the day of tomorrow, or the women for that matter. Life teaches us, and sometimes in a harsh way. And we get bruised, sometimes even hurt, but we shake it off and we learn from it. And then we turn the game to our advantage. And at the end, we become masters of the game. You need to read the book by Sidney Sheldon, Master of the Game. That's a Virgo on the ascendant. Cha, cha, cha. The hustler, the gigolo, the con artist, the cheat, the liar, the thief, and the seducer. American Gigolo, Richard Gere. Do I need to go further? Magic Mike with Marky Mark. Come on. All that is Virgo. Singing the pose. Virgo on the ascendant. Oh, he's scandalous. Scandalous. And he loves it. He loves it. He feels alive, energetic, sexual, constantly horny, and constantly looking for trouble. This he connects with Scorpio, which is why Scorpio has the M with the sting, and Virgo also has the M with the loop, which is the fish. Because Scorpio and Virgos are very similar. We can be evil and enjoy it and love it, and be a saint and equally enjoy it and love it, and then swing from one pole to the other. We can be the redeemer, or we can be the executioner, and we can be both all at the same time. Virgo and the ascendant. Yeah, yeah. Virgo, you have to understand. The Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury is all mental, mind, analytical, and no emotion in Mercury. So therefore, because there's no emotion in Mercury, there's no moral compass. There's no moral consciousness. Virgos can be very kinky and very amoral, but our ruling planet, Mercury, doesn't possess emotional faculty. That belongs to the moon and to Venus. Mercury is completely devoid of these feelings and sentiments. It's all about the mind and the interpretation of life according to the senses of the mind. And that doesn't lend for room for morality and for right and wrong. Think about that. There rises the trickster of the zodiac. The trickster doesn't care if he hurts your feelings or destroys you because he doesn't have a moral compass in which to gauge his actions. This is Virgo on the ascendant, living that mythology of the trickster. I just went deep on you. Understand why Virgo is so dark and sexy at the same time and amoral, and why he can be such a gigolo and such a whore, pulling from the opposite polarity of Pisces, the sign of, Whore. Which is why Virgos and Pisces are constantly in a state of sexuality, and we're always sensual. We always have it in our minds. You think Scorpio is something? Virgo on the ascendant. Everybody see long? Man, Virgo. See something else. But of course, we're talking about the archetype, right? We're talking about the archetype of Virgo. And Virgo is the sixth sign of the zodiac. It's the Virgin, but is it really? The opposite of the Virgin is the WHORE. So there are people that really take offense when I mention the word whore. They think that that's a personal opinion coming from me. It's not. But I'm not gonna say it so that I don't offend women with that term. I don't like it personally, but we're talking about the archetype of the harlot, the great harlot that's sitting on the moon, Pisces. Come on, this is not my doctrine now. I have to call it for what it is. But let me tell you, I love. If I could be a whore, I would. It's fun. Why not? Fuck that shit. I would. I'd be the biggest whore on the planet. Both as a man or as a woman. Come on, so don't cry, Pisces. I wish I was you. What? Can't wait until I'm incarnate and be born in Pisces. I'm gonna have all the tail I can get. Strike that. Strike that. Shh. Para bailar, para gozar, mi cha cha cha. So understand that Virgo is highly complex as an expression of the ego through personality. Because Virgo comes in many speeds and in many modalities. He's the chameleon. La 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 la. He's the chameleon. What the fuck? He's the chameleon. Para bailar, para gozar. Okay, I understand. I know that the beat, it just grabs me. I don't know what to do with myself. I got so much fire. And I got no booze to slow me down. So, I'm going to be a little, I'm going to try to control myself. I understand that Virgo, like Pisces, projects what it sees and what it feels right back at you, pulling from the opposite polarity of Pisces. So Virgo is here to interpret the world around him. And once he interprets it to his satisfaction, he wants to categorize creation. He wants to create a catalog of what he has dissected and compartmentalized. Virgo, especially the mind or the mentality of Virgo, is that of a file cabinet where everything is filed and it's computerized and it's classified and it's organized. Monica Geller from Friends, the sister of Ross Geller, she is the typical Virgo girl where the towels are organized and they are broken into categories, and then she has this categorized and this has to be cleaned, and Monica, you know she exemplifies that aspect of the Virgo personality in both a man and a woman, where everything has to be structured, cleaned, organized, compartmentalized. That can be very Virgo. I'm not that type of Virgo. I think it's boring. It's too structured, to control. That's not me. I am thankful for my Aries moon that gives me more fire and more flexibility. Well, I don't have to be too hard on myself. If I make a mistake and I'm not perfect, fuck it. There's always tomorrow. That's my Mars inside. Rome wasn't built in a day. So let's take our time figuring out the details. Let's breathe and look at the flowers and just enjoy the beauty of nature without having to analyze it. Virgo. But Virgo does us a great favor because without the discrimination and discernment of Virgo, we will know what we are experiencing. We have to put a label or a definition to what we experience. And that's important because those become building blocks that create a synthesis that may give us a direction as to where we're going and what we're experiencing. It gives us something that we can look at and analyze and self-reflect. This could not happen without the agency of Virgo and Pisces. Pisces gives us an emotional reflection of our experiences, while Virgo gives us a practical, physical, and mundane reflection of that same experience through collected works and physical manifestation of work, which is why Virgo is an earth sign. It's about the end result of manifestation, which begins as a germinal seed in Pisces. Virgo and the ascendant. It is quite complex. Most astrologers still don't understand the complexity of Virgo. The planet is not believed to be ruled by Mercury, but by Vulcan. Vulcan has not appeared in our solar system yet, so we are not sure. Another theory is that Chiron is the ruler of Virgo, since Virgo goes through so much suffering. But most astrologers have not reached a consensus as to which one it is. Most esoteric astrologers and mystics believe that it is the planet Vulcan that rules Virgo, and it is and holds the key to some of the mysterious personality traits and idiosyncratic traits that are inherent in the ego and the personality expression of Virgo. It is not Mercury. Mercury fits better Gemini. It doesn't Virgo. Virgo is too complex and too dark, like Pluto, the ruler of Hades, which is why many astrologers believe that Pluto is exalted in Virgo, because Virgo has a very powerful mythology with Scorpio. And this may very well be true. I was born with Pluto in Virgo, and I believe that Pluto is exalted in my sign. Just the mere fact of me making these videos and the level of intelligence that comes through my being, that is not me, and it has to be from otherworldly. This is exemplified in Pluto, the ruler of the underworld and the ruler of dark secrets of nature that can even terrify the most sternest of the gods. Virgo and the ascendant is deep. It's deep. I have to take a toke. Oh. There is a sadomasochistic tendency to Virgo. Remember, it rules sadomasochism. So you can get very dark Virgos to you, like Jeffrey Dahmer. Um, what's his name? The one that killed all those, Jim Jones, who killed those people in Guyana. His rising sign was Virgo. So Caligula, Virgo. Virgo can be very dark. Ooh, Virgo on the ascendant. It depends on the degree that Virgo is found on the ascendant. Is it 8 degrees? Is it 13 degrees? Is it 23 degrees? Is it 8 degrees? Is it 5 degrees? It depends on the degree. And that will let you know what type of Virgo you are going to have among your midst if you're born with Virgo rising. Ooh, the beat. Let that sink in. Okay? The negative side of Virgo and the ascendant is the tendency and the propensity to criticize and to place judgment on things and on people. And Virgo can be ruthless at this, non-forgiving. Weaker personalities will be destroyed by the powerful criticisms of Virgo. Another propensity of Virgo on the ascendant is a need, a psychological need for service and to give service and to provide service. Yeah. So understand the complexity of Virgo. There's no way that you can understand a Virgo man any more than you can understand a Gemini man. Who or a Gemini woman. These are aspects of Mercury that are like Quicksilver. Hard to get your hands on. They're a lot of fun. A lot of fun. But Virgo has a need to provide service. And the emotional temperament of Virgo is very sensitive. Virgo is very sensitive and needs um assurance. It needs a sense of community of love. That love can be expected and can be unconditional. Virgo doesn't believe that. Virgo can have a real serious problem with self-esteem and self-worth to the point where it is just absolutely painful to watch. No, I hope that as we progress in our evolution, that Virgo becomes far more stronger or realizes because it's always strong. I think he has to realize that it's so much more stronger that it has let itself to believe or wants to allow itself to believe. People donate 347-485-6258. Call. We are done with our Virgo. Thank you very much.